Okay, welcome back. I'm Cappadocia. Welcome back to Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. We're carrying on pretty much where we were. I've just had a quick thumb through some of these. We're starting off some more Falston. We've got missions executing. Janus, we're still working on that one. Oh, Dragonis cut out for Aid Lord Captain. Riots all over the interpretation of Scripture, broken out several hives across the world. While hunting the agents of the cult at the Final Dawn, the ecclesiarchy clamped down on the planet's minor cults, attempting to force correct adherence to the creed upon the populace. The commoners grumble about oppression of the minor cults and even daring to claim that the holy ecclesiarchy have assumed the sole right to speak for the God Emperor. May disgruntled flee into the ruins of the Sisyphon hive, since the clan formalists promise them protection and support, even said the forms. Pretty sure we did this last time, didn't we? Never mind. The forces the agents of the ecclesiarchy be able to curb back as the division grows. Well, the foreman involved in this, but yeah. Don't really know. Not the cult of Final Dawn. Okay, advisors. Small differences creed beget large ones. Large ones beget heresy. Our faith is found to absolutely trust those above us. If the people's belief pushed them towards dissent, and those beliefs are wicked from the very beginning, that doesn't necessarily make the preachers themselves wicked. Perhaps simply misguided. We could pass the ecclesiarchy's care for education so we see the truth. End dialogue. There we go. So the Bastion is done. We're getting Holy Servitude on here, and on Kivigama we're getting Giants, which is going to be very useful. Okay. Holy Prophet. Call to Arms. Pleasing the Tired. Society of Cartographers. Efficiency's good, profit factor's good. Extra plasteel, extra people, complacency goes up, efficiency gets up. Dresian security is good. Provisions, but these profit factors. This is what we must have. Okay, call to arms. I think we're going to go take the call to arms. And these are all working. The incident. Right. So we've got to head home. So back to our palace, shall we? Okay. New contract. I finished. Ooh, already done that. Nice. I'm forced to arrested a dangerous saboteur attempt to get into the bridge. This is maybe worthy attention. Yeah, I'm sure we did this bit. So obviously it didn't save the last time when I was doing it. Never mind. This is the guy who wants to speak to Nomos. I don't blame him. I like speaking to Nomos. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, we did this the last time, I'm sure we did. Went the Iconoclast route last time. Technically, I should execute him. But, meh. It's not doing any harm, really. Busy. So, what would be the point? There we go. Right. Let's get to Dargonis. Hurry this up. So I'm pretty sure we were at Dargonis last time when I finished off, but there we go. Off to Dargonis. Oh, gotta go see. Gotta go to Faustine as well in a minute. Okay. Call to arms is complete. A melted gun. Take the Holy Prophet. You know, I'm still happy with this team. Let's go. So I skipped through everything so quickly, but I'm pretty sure we've done it before. If not, then I apologise if it's not on this channel, but I'm sure I've seen the guy who did numbers before, And that bit with the alert, I'm pretty sure we've done that before. It obviously just didn't save the last time, so that's life. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand aside. No need to crowd around. Governor Drivestrom will take care of everything. My arse. It's ridiculous. Such a thing happened right in the Rogue Trader's Palace. My palace. You're confronted by the sight of dead bodies at the entrance to the palace. The corpses have been hauled into a pile. Some are dressed in the uniform of palace wardens. Others are arrayed in clothing typical of the Dagonis nobility. Upon seeing you, young force stands at attention and swallows noisily. Your lordship, we're honoured by your presence. What is this mess? You see, your lordship, people want to attack Second Lieutenant of the Palace Guards, Elam Wayat reporting. Shortly before you arrived, we averted an assassination attempt on the rogue trader. The palace soldiers detected intruders and engaged them in combat. Observation. The rare high-functioning servitor specimens present among expired units. Such specimens are traditionally bestowed upon the noble houses of the most lords of sacred fellowship to the Adeptus Mechanicus. The augments of deceased do differ from the implants ordinary people wear. Their intricate construction makes it clear deceased were not ordinary humans. As far as I know, House Krapak has received such servitors from the Crimson Priesthood as a gift in the past, although this is my first time seeing one myself. Where is Clementa Westerian? I think she's in the house, rest of the House Westerian, detained in the throne room, that is. Governor Drivestrom has gathered all Dagonis nobility to pronounce a guilty verdict. Why is the governor not here to meet the road trader? I do not know, your lordship. Perhaps you can find him in the throne room where it intends to put House Westerian. I must take my leave. Multiple wounds.
Never doubt me.
Crumpled up letter in the... Ooh.
I always keep my options open.
So do we have it? Yay. Do we now have a crumpled up letter somewhere? Yep. Info. Soaked with blood and only a portion of the text is readable through crimson blotches. Full and discreet. Keep away from lords and ladies. You must look like a noble to the servants and wardens. Do not engage in conversation with anyone. Your task is to avoid exposing yourself ahead of time and let the Westerians get away while the wardens are busy guarding the road trader. You can have that.
Always keep your
Over the really bloody noisy fires. Do not like the fact that Drystrom's gone over my head.
I must thank you, esteemed Magos. After your intervention, I feel 50 years younger. Both my knee implants are as good as new.
I agree to help out with respect for the price of brave limitations placed in your body. Such sacred creations deserve the best maintenance available.
Let me through. I have an appointment with Chancellor Clementa Westerian. Well, apologies, my lord, but you cannot go any further. Governor Drivestrom's orders. This is ridiculous. I shall complain. Move over. Let his lordship the road trader through. I humbly beg your pardon, your lordship. Your lordship, this way, please. Your lordship, 'tis an honour. Ben Drivestrom seems to materialise out of thin air. So suddenly he is emerged from the crowd. I regret that such unfortunate circumstances have occasioned the road trader's visit to the capital. Your lordship, you're here. Please, you must hear us out. The road trader is undoubtedly here to listen to the testimony of each and every one of us and to punish the traitors. We've known each other for many decades now, and we have had our fair share of disagreements, but do you really think my flesh and blood would trample upon the very definition of honour and loyalty? Your lordship, you hear? Please, you must hear us out. The road trader is undoubtedly here to listen to the testimony of each and every one of us and to punish the traitors. We've known each other for many decades now, and we have had our fair share of disagreements, but do you really think my flesh and blood would trample upon the very definition of honour and loyalty? The governor sweeps his gaze over Abelard, then replies, a faithful shadow of doubt. We have evidence implicated of Abelard. I'm sure his lordship will arrive at a fair ruling. What are the charges? Disruption of logistical lines, bribery of adeptus administratum officials, document forgery, and organisation of heretical insurrections. On top of evidently devastating economic impact this has had on your protectorate, these criminals have impeded the delivery of the imperial tithe, which in turn has drawn the administratum's attention. Needless to say, the esteemed adeptus arbites cannot ignore the situation either, and before the representative of the Prime Minister, we are obligated to identify and punish those responsible. Why are the dead bodies at the entrance? Your lordship, I humbly beg your pardon. You see, right before your arrival, the palace guard discovered the plot to assassinate you. Fortunately, the malefactors were disposed of before they caused you any harm. What happened during my absence? When we caught wind of your rumours of your disappearance, we patiently awaited news of your return, but then Jargonus was struck by a series of terrible events. The first was sabotage of logistics that hampered shipments, then mass unrest spread across the entire planet, and the minor noble houses began squabbling among themselves, trying to pin the blame on their rivals. We took great pains to calm them down and managed to quash the revolt, though not with some outside help, unfortunately. These events have also been overshadowed by I'm ashamed to say it in front of you, your lordship, the rumours circulating among the higher houses. Some were calling for Theodora's true heir to be installed at the head of your house, Kungrad Vorgsvir. Not all of your subjects have forgotten his past efforts for the benefit of the Protectorate. When the investigation was launched, the evidence led us to the Westerans. You aren't accusing one of Darkonis' noble houses of treason without airtight evidence, are you? Clementa, I wish to hear your account. Your lordship, House of Westerans denies all charges laid against it. These last few months have indeed been trying for Darkonis. We've done our best to remedy the situation. My family's every effort was focused on stabilising the capital's logistics and economy, so much so that we failed to notice the web of intrigue unfolding behind our back. The case appears to be flimsy. I wish to learn more before I make my final decision. Thank you for your willingness to help, Lord Captain. I am certain that all such charges are false. We'd be grateful for your help in exposing them as such. I think you speak to everyone present. Yep. Time to go and do the chatty bit around. Wardens everywhere.
I always have a backup plan.
Have you seen Helen today? We came together, I haven't seen him since. Tiana Grapak. Lords and ladies, sumptuously dressed in colours of House Grapak, are standing in a half circle round Torino and her son Vincent. The bodies and faces of almost every member of this dynasty are covered in large ornate cosmetics. Greetings, your lordship. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. Abelard, it must be difficult for you to be here under these circumstances with your house accusing of such grave crime. My family, Lady Torino, is yet to be found guilty of anything that the Verdi's rogue trader to reach. What do you think? I would not take responsibility of step the rule on their guilt, your lordship. I do think Governor Dryce's accusation is worth consideration. Your opinions which nobles might have reason to be party. Pardon my bluntness, your lordship, but also truthfully, it could be anyone. Greed, fear, and ideas can drive the most loyal subject to the unthinkable. I've examined the bodies of the assailants that were killed today. All of them were high-functioning servitors. Such servitors are only employed by families custody as mechanicus. Is that not so? It's impossible to read Torino's emotions in a heavily augmented face, but her son turned towards her family, betrays her confusion and surprise. Perplexed whispers bounced from the family members to another. Impossible. We came upon ourselves without servitors. We know nothing about it. Your lordship, thank you for informing me of this, but you're absolutely right. My house has indeed been endowed with high-functioning servitors, a blessing for those who revere the Omnissiah. But today, none of our house members were accompanied by them. Found this note. What are your thoughts of it? Officially, high-functioning servitors employed by my house and my house alone. If such units were to attack the road traders, suspicion would instantly fall upon the Grapaks. I had assumed this is what the Westerans intended to happen, but they didn't expect the servitors would have this letter on them. Vincent, I wish to speak to you. Ready to serve, my lord. How may I help? I do not think I can doubt the validity of the accusations, but I'm also not sure the House of Westerian had reason to betray you, your lordship. I do not know of any instance that their loyalty to you and the Emperor was anything less than unwavering. Okay, so I know you care for a star of Westerian who prepares to watch her die. There is something you ought to know, your lordship. Today I noticed one of the family members to be in an odd, uncharacteristic mood. Helen Grapak is my paternal second cousin once removed. May the Emperor forgive his soul. Usually reserved for self-possessed, today he was frantic and anxious, fidgeting with a small piece of paper and seemingly looking for someone to no avail. We'll also misheaded to the entrance hall where the altars are. I think perhaps you should speak to him. That'll do. Thank you. I will take my leave.
Keep your wits about you.
The Sourbacks. Your lordship. Hector Sourback, looking like a young copy's father, stands at a slight distance close to his mother. An expensive yet understated dress serves to highlight the dazzling beauty of Marcus's wife, Regina. Look closely. Do you really believe the Westerans are guilty? Certainly, Governor Drives don't possess proof of their guilt and by no means wish to refute it. If I were to entertain the idea the Westerans are being framed, how much longer would their house have lasted anyway if one is so ill prepared for treachery? My advice to House Westarian, would be not to appeal to the road trader for help, instead simply stop, accept their fate, and make matters worse for themselves. I cannot remember Sigmund von Valencia seeking your advice on the fact that House Westarian should do in this situation. Pay attention, Maricas. Focus on the royal trader's questions. House Drivestone wish to expand their clout. House Scrapback loss of influence after the Kivagamma incident. House Sourbeck, whose patriarch is too direct for his communication with the rogue trader. Anyone can have reason to conspire against you, and equally they could have none. It's not a question of motive, but loyalty. Each of your subjects has sworn an oath, so whose sincerity do you doubt?
Is there money to be made?
They're the only one being straight. As you draw closer, the warden step aside perceptively, allowing you to approach the Westeranian family. Commend tired, slightly disheveled, is the first to bow head in deference. Several men and women follow suit. Your lordship, accept my most humble apologies for failing to greet you properly, and my thanks for agreeing to speak to me before you make your final decision. The charge brought by the governor is severe, but I can only assure you of this and swear on my own honour we are not guilty of the crimes the House Westarian is being accused of. Clementa, you are acting head of the family. You're supposed to take care of each and every family member. Now you are being accused of treason and collusion against the rogue trader. An entire family is facing death. How can you let this happen? The governor claims you forged. The fleet is the primary remit of House Westarian. It is our responsibility. Logistics and supply is another area of our responsibility. We have no direct influence on the inner workings of the Adeptus Administratum. The first large-scale deliveries were cancelled after quantities of food were miscalculated by clerics in the Administratum. Then we were faced with incorrect weather data and a meagre fuel budget. It was clear that the cause of these problems was the calculations performed of the Administratum. In one way or another, but no matter how many times we asked, we could not obtain clarification on the matter. Found this. Your lordship, let me be frank, it would be foolish of me to try and orchestrate something like this, knowing how many wardens are patrolling your palace. I would not have let myself or anyone in my family get involved in such a scheme. Servitors? Is that so? I've encountered servitors that were indistinguishable from normal augmented humans, but only once. They were accompanied by several members of House Krapak. Who stands to gain from framing you? Anyone, really. The other houses consider us unworthy of our position, and many would jump at the chance to get rid of us and gain control over what was once our domain, the planet's fleet and logistics at the very least. Lady Theodora chose to grant noble status to House Westarian, but the other houses which have served in the expanse for millennia did not welcome the decision. It's led to some difficulties. Where should I start? I'm afraid I can't do much else. Perhaps talked up to... Yeah, okay, I must take my leave.
I always keep my options open.
Nobles. But keep on clicking outside the window. Where the altars are.
Always keep your eye on the price.
Plenty of aristocrats. Let's head outside. Your lordship, you leaving me already? Everyone is so... They're blocking my way. I want to go... Now what? Is anybody lurking in my quarters? I do hope not. Good, no one's lurking in here. Alright. I think it was one of the sourbacks. Haha. Or possibly this here graphic. Philologist man in the middle years is kneeling in front of an altar, his palms folded in prayer close to his face. The implant-free parts of his skin are a sickly blue colour. The nobleman does not react to your presence, he does not lift his head, he does not blink, he doesn't even breathe. It's only when you draw closer that you realise he's dead. The colours of House Grapak. I do not believe he decided to take his own life in such an extravagant way. As far as I know, there's a warden post here, but I didn't see any wardens. There's no one to ask what happened here or with whom this man spoke before he died. I would like to ask at Urbend where the palace guard suddenly disappeared to. A familiar sight. There are poisons of rapidly damage the nervous system, causing paralytic spasms throughout the body. Okay. No visible wounds, but near the edge of a gold trim collie notes a tiny puncture in his blue skin, likely caused by a needle. Search his pockets. A short note. Press is empty. Where have they gone? Make sure the road trade is attacked by someone loyal. It should appear as if it was all staged to let the Westarian family escape. This will be a last assignment. Soon your debt will be repaid in full. Interesting.
Keep your wits about you.
Bend. Governor Jarstone surrounded by his retinue, who all dressed in expensive gowns and finery, matching colour scheme of their outfits. The striking physical resemblance among them suggests they all come from one family. Your Lordship, thank you for giving this case your underlying attention. What makes you think the Westarians are behind this plot? As soon as the logistical and economic problems gave rise to initial rumours, we tried to find the person responsible for spreading the calls for Volkvir's return. An investigation showed that some of the documents inside the Addictive Administratum were forgeries. We could thank my son Cornelius for such astute observations. Your Lordship, I assume a humble person is undivided. Yes, it is. Cornelius holds prestigious position in the Administratum, and it was he who discovered the errors leading to the disrupted logistics. It's also thanks to him we found the perpetrators of the forgeries who admitted on acting the orders of the Westarian. High functioning such services is indeed rare, and the Grapaks do have them in the services could have been done intentionally with an eye to confusing you. Anyone who decides sufficient funds can hire them. What makes you think of this letter? Looks like another piece of evidence. I shall return to you later. Cornelius, how much? I shall return to you. Yeah, I want to talk to Cornelius, not Urbend. Yeah. I discovered a dead body. Remember your house right here in my palace. He died kneeling in prayer. Hallen? It can't be. No, Hallen was it? Tell me about him, Tonnerre. Hallen is one of the low-ranking members of House Capac. Despite his advanced age, he never held high office. He was forever striving to better his position, even beyond his abilities. Many of my house struggled to cope with the misfortune of befell Kiva Gamma and our family. Some members could not reconcile themselves to the new position. Hallen was one of them. What could have happened to him? Tarina, the time to keep silent is long gone. The future of the Von Valencia's trade dynasty and your health are both at stake now. We lost Kiva Gamma, a truly devastating blow to every member of House Capac. I lost all hope for the future, and my kin lost their sense of purpose. We needed time to recover and chart a new course for ourselves. We were and still are more than capable of doing that, but I will not deny it. The other houses have offered us their assistance for their own self-serving ends. Perhaps Hallen decided to take up on to one of their offers behind my back. Lord Captain, the Grapaks, or perhaps some of them, are definitely involved, but I suspect they were not behind the plot against you. Helen Grapak could be nothing more than a puppet in the hands of a deaf puppet master. Must expose whoever... Yep. I'm listening. Interrogate the heads of the Drystrem and Salbeck houses. One of them has been pulling the strings here. Once we uncover new evidence, announce the guilty party will be publicly executed. Before we pronounce a verdict, suggest you focus on each house in your indictment speech, and I shall observe them. The Sourbacks. Discovered the body in my palace. A man of House Krapak was killed while praying to the Emperor. I had this note on him. Do you know anything about it? No, I know nothing about this note. Okay. Did you see Helen Grapak for a while, I'd say? Helen? I didn't see myself, but have any of you seen him today? Says someone sitting on a bed some distance away from the palace entrance. He was accompanied by a gentleman who would lead me to that place. Of course.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. What's a peculiar thing?
Duty prevails.
I recognise this bouquet. House Sourback usually serves this wine. So the Sourbacks, Nothing else to say here. No, we've done everything there for the minute. Should have asked them about the note, about the debt.
I always keep my options open.
Member of House Grapak killed in the palace, and no one noticed. But how the wardens, there was no one posting it to cease. One that had left their posts. Emperor forbid, your lordship. Your negligence is stunning, Urbend. An assassination attempt followed by a mysterious death, and yet here you are oblivious to everything. The road trader can just accuse you of allowing a noble to be killed in the palace and even failing to notice. It may be so, but it's for the road trader to accuse me of negligence, not you. Your lordship, accept my deepest apologies for my impudence. Nothing matters more to me than my honour. I shall send my servants to deal with this immediately. Summon everyone. Understood. The seneschal nods his urgent dictate shifts his gaze. Ben Drystrom, you have exhibited inexcusable negligence by failing to question the possible involvement of any other found by the Westerans. We've discovered the attempt of my life was orchestrated by a member of House Grapak. Trader Grapak, a member of the family orchestrated assassinated here in my own palace, and although it's already been found there's actual treason is enough to forever brand your house as traitors. I know that House Sourback offered their help to the Grapaks, and the late Helen Grapak seemed to have accepted the offer. I suspect that you are responsible for his death as well. And Urban Drystrom, you have excusable negligence by failing to question possible involvement of other families by the Westerans. We have discovered that the attempt was orchestrated by a member of House Grapak. The governor closes his eyes, fear and shame getting the better of him. Some faces in the crowd look confused and surprised, but you see more. House Sourback guilty. Seneschal, you may take it from here. Marcus, I admit I've always admired your bluntness, but just once I had to say goodbye to a promotion because of your dislike for an intrigue. You and your family may soon get goodbye to your heads. Tell me, now in your blunt fashion, are you loyal? I am loyal, Westarian. You're not lying, but someone else is. Someone who poised to destroy both you and your family for her own gain. Marcus doesn't have time to respond. Virginia, standing beside him, raises his arms to slap the elderly Seneschal. Abelard deftly catches her wrist, stopping her right hand in front of his face. Her dainty hand is adorned with a massive augmented ring topped with a thin spike dripping venom. Regina, you? Mother? Macarius, your bluntness makes you an open book. When I talked about helping the Grapaks, you had no idea what I was referring to. Your wife, on the other hand, her eyes started shifting like you would not believe. Regina Sourback, you alone betrayed the road trader, jeopardizing prosperity of Von Blench's trade dynasty. You alone are responsible for your unmasking. Why would you do this? Because Dragonis is serving an impostor. The true heir bears a different name. When Kunrad disappeared on Dragonis, he paid me a visit. I don't bias to the truth of the situation. Theodore was killed by one whom she had unwarily taken under her wing. Macarius is too narrow-minded to even consider opposing the road trader, even an illegitimate one, so I had to wait for the right moment, and the disappearance of the Lord Captain could not have come at a better time. It was quite simple to trigger the chain of events on Dragonis, so that people remembered Master Volgvir's past service. It seems that many of your subjects really do do not actually consider you. And why the Westerans? Because when stripped of the Seneschal's protection, this house is the weakest one on all Dragonis. They are particularly disliked by the governor's family. It was easy to bury the Westerans under accusations of heresy. And who raided you? Of course I did. I had too many helpers to list them all, but rest assured there are plenty of them. Just as plenty of people who follow Master Voidvir. My death will not change anything. The true road trader will come. And why did you kill Halan Garapak? Halan was a good agent, but he was also a coward. He came to me just before our formidable rogue trader arrived. He was ready to confess everything. I suggested he plead for the Emperor's forgiveness first. And he did grant him mercy, did he not? Ablab, the sentence has yet to be carried out. Finish this. Does the rogue trader condemn only this rotten apple or the entire barrel? I will not exterminate an entire noble line that's loyal to me just because of one traitor. In that case, Regina Sauerback shall be subjected to intense interrogation followed by execution. Reason I keep them? Now they owe me. I can be subtle sometimes. I'm not very good at it, but I can be. By order of the rogue trader, Regina Sauerback is sentenced to death for heresy and crimes against the von Valencius trade dynasty. Ugh. Death by vivisection. Ugh. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Slicey dicey. Not like one quick stab. No, not for the heretic. She's lucky, really, they didn't cast her to the flame. Lord Captain. You have my thanks. The rogue trader should not waste time on the matters of his servants and trustees can result, but in this case your intervention was necessary, not just for the sake of my family, but for your trade dynasty as well. Regina Sauerback, evidently Conrad's accomplice in such a plot against your protectorate. I fear we have not heard the last of such scoundrels. Indeed. Thanks to you, Lord Captain, House Westarian is saved, although it came close to being wiped out as a result of scheming without and imprudence with him. Sometimes I think about how much I could teach them. I could ensure they survive in the future without me. What are you going to do now? I need time to reflect on what happened and the role I played in it. I think I'll be ready to resume this conversation later when we're back on board ship. Yep, that's fine. But we've done what we came here to do. Your Lordship, I hope you're still in desperate... Okay, I must take my leave. Yes, you are. Nothing to talk to here. To the bridge. And I think once we're back on the bridge, that is where we're going to leave it for the minute. We're going to leave that there. So again, thanks for your time for the minute. I've been Cappadocia. Signing off.